trust, betrayal, pain. These aren't just words. They're experiences. Experiences that carve into the soul, leaving marks no one sees but you. And yet, the world demands an explanation, an apology. For what? For surviving? For adapting? For becoming the only thing capable of withstanding the storms? Reflect. Think about the first time you were betrayed. The first time someone you trusted let you down. Do you remember the sting of it? The way it hollowed out your chest? That was the moment the seed was planted. The seed of change. Imagine this, a piece of iron, raw and unshaped. To become strong, it must endure the fire, the hammer, and the relentless strikes. The heat burns, the blows hurt, but in the end, it becomes a blade, sharp, unyielding, purposeful. That's the process of survival. The fire isn't the enemy. The hammer isn't your foe. They are your teachers. I didn't choose this path. It was forced upon me. Each betrayal, every wound, every scar, they pushed me toward this transformation. The world tried to break me, to crush me, to make me beg. Instead, it forged me. You see, the world hates what it cannot control. They'll call you a monster when you stop bending, when you stop apologizing, when you finally start living on your terms. But let me ask you this. When they betrayed you, did they apologize? When they left you to fend for yourself, did they explain? They didn't. And they never will. So why should I apologize for learning the lesson they taught me? This so-called monster, it's not evil. It's clarity. It's focus. It's the realization that in a world full of masks, the only face you can trust is your own. Picture this. A bridge. Fragile, weak, swaying with the wind. Every time you trust someone blindly, you step onto that bridge. And every time it collapses, you fall. Again. And again. Until one day you stop stepping onto the bridge. You build your own foundation. Solid. Unshakable. That's not being a monster. That's being wise. They'll say, "You've changed." Of course I've changed. Who wouldn't? Change isn't a flaw. It's survival. It's evolution. And those who fear your change? They're the ones who benefited from your weakness. Let them talk. Let them whisper. Because while they cling to their fragile bridges, you're building something unbreakable. The monster they see is their own reflection, their own fear, their inability to control you anymore. And you owe them nothing. Not your time, not your trust, not your apology. Keep walking, keep growing, keep sharpening. Because monsters don't hide in the shadows. They thrive in them. They call it darkness, this space I've stepped into. But tell me, what is darkness if not a place of clarity? In the light, everything is obscured by illusions. False smiles, hollow words, promises that shatter like glass. In the dark, there are no distractions. Only the raw, unfiltered truth. And the truth is this: no one is coming to save you. Not your friends, not your family, not the world. It's a bitter pill to swallow. But once you do, you'll taste freedom. True freedom. Consider this: a forest at night. Pitch black. The only sounds are the whispers of the wind and the crackle of branches underfoot. There's fear in that solitude, but there's also power. When you walk that path alone, you're not just surviving, you're becoming. Every step forward strengthens your resolve. Every misstep teaches you something new. People will say you're lost, but they don't understand. You're not lost. You're searching. Searching for the strength that only comes when you stop relying on others. You see, they fear what they don't understand. They fear someone who doesn't need their approval, their validation, their presence. Because in their world, dependence is normal. But you've broken that chain. Every choice you make, every step you take, brings you closer to your own truth. And that truth, it's not tied to anyone else. It's yours, pure, unshakable. Let me be clear, this isn't about hatred or bitterness. It's about understanding that your worth isn't tied to anyone else's opinions or actions. It's about realizing that your journey is yours alone. People will try to pull you back. They'll use guilt, fear, manipulation. They'll say you're cold, distant, unfeeling. But none of that matters. Because when you walk this path, you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. So when they ask why you don't apologize, why you don't explain yourself, remind yourself, the only person you owe an explanation to is the one staring back at you in the mirror. Every scar, every wound, every step forward, it's all led you here, to this moment, to this understanding. You are not the villain in their story. You are the hero of your own. And heroes don't apologize for surviving. You stand in the wreckage of what you once were, staring into the abyss of what you've become. And here's the truth they don't want to admit. Strength comes from breaking, not bending. The pieces of your old self, they're gone for a reason. Stop reaching for them. Instead, forge something new. Do you know what separates those who survive from those who merely exist? It's not talent. It's not luck. It's the refusal to apologize for embracing the fight. Pain doesn't ask permission. So why should you? People will tell you to stay humble, to soften your edges, to blend into their world. But blending in has never built legends. Legends rise because they dared to stand apart. Because they chose the hard path. You are a blade being sharpened by every betrayal, every loss, every moment of solitude. And a blade doesn't apologize for its edge. It simply cuts. So stop waiting for the world to understand you. Stop waiting for the world to accept you. The world doesn't hand out greatness. It fears it. Be feared. Be undeniable. And remember, your story is not written in ink. It's carved in steel. So here's the final truth. You owe this world nothing. Not an apology, not an explanation. You didn't break, you transformed. And in that transformation, you found the strength to stand, to fight, to rise. Let them fear the monster you've become. Let them question it, because while they talk, you move forward. Unstoppable, relentless. Remember this, your story isn't over, and you are the author of every page yet to come.